Experience, I divided essentially between two organizations, Children's Cabinet and then the first Lego League robotics competition. Both of them are incredibly different. Could you go to the next slide, Dustin? First hit. I put too many animations because we're sure that I was going to be doing it. So 2 more clicks and then I can... Okay, so essentially these two all represent opposite ends of the social economic spectrum. These, just assumptions based on, their education level, dress, whatnot, the fact all the parents were there supporting them. Probably more affluent middle class people and families and communities. People in the Children's Cabinet, these are the children that have essentially run out of options. A lot of them are, recovering addicts or dealing with trying to get out of gangs, get their life together. Some are just so impoverished they have nowhere else to go. They need someplace to come, get a warm meal, get a coat, just some winter clothes. Could you hit the next slide? One more? So yeah, lower income kids, all at risk, and then over here, first Lego League championships, again, mostly from affluent families, all undoubtedly extremely intelligent. I mean, these kids had a really good grasp of science that, I don't know about you guys, but was dwarfing me. Like, when I had to judge them, like, they were asking all these technical questions and stuff, trying to get feedback. I'm like, I have no idea, but yours was pretty, so I give you an A. Okay, so Children's Cabinet is a non-profit organization providing services for children from infancy to age 21. Now, essentially, they have programs for like new mothers and fathers that don't really have support. A lot of us take it for granted we know what to do with an infant. I'm willing to guess most of you, barring some extraordinary circumstance, most of you at least had one good parent or guardian, and you have enough experience from your memories and life that if you had a child, you'd be able to deal with it reasonably. They never had this support system. Most of these people are lower income, teenage pregnancies, have nowhere else to go, so they offer some infancy programs. They also will offer programs up until age 21 for people just trying to get their life together. Like I said, a lot of them are ex-gang members, history of violence, substance abuse. The program I worked with specifically dealt with recovering teens and recovering addicted teens. And pretty much, let's see, quick history. Children's Cabinet was founded in the 1980s by Michael Dermody. It's a Nevada organization. It serves over 11,000 families in northern Nevada. Basically, the idea was he wanted to create sort of a cabinet of local community leaders, nonprofit organizations, and businessmen and women, try and create a support system for these children that had nowhere else to go. Next slide, please, Doctor. Okay, so I worked with ADAPT. I also kind of worked a little bit with some of the kids from GRASP, which is the GAIN one, but mostly it was with ADAPT, which is the Alternative Drug and Alcohol Prevention and Treatment. So basically, it's just getting these kids who are, drug addicted, and we're talking hardcore drugs, not like they're just smoking a little weed on the weekends. They're recovering from heroin, meth, binge drinking. These kids have lived a very hard, very depressing life, so they're just trying to give them a leg up. One thing they do is every Monday, participants engage in community service. For my group, they had Planned Parenthood come in, explain proper condom use, getting checked for STDs. Another time they'll have, they'll have just people from the community talk about potentially getting a GAD, helping them out with studying. Other nights they go out and do community service. They go down to St. Vincent's or some of the homeless shelters, help the homeless. And they also teach them some life skills and practical education too. There's some tutoring on Tuesday and Thursday with resources they have. They also teach them basic how to budget, how to go shopping. They'll get a crock pot, get ingredients, and teach them how to make a healthy meal. It's just a really extraordinary experience. And nothing else, it offers a safe place. So how did it go with my interaction with them? Failed. Because to a degree it was, mostly because I only had limited amount of time, especially splitting in between two organizations. These are kids who do not trust easily. Most of them have been abused. Those who haven't been abused, it's mostly because they didn't have any parents to abuse them. They're addicts, they're recovering, they have gang members. All their social ties have been ones of violence and depression and poverty. They're not going to open up to me within 12 hours. Now, towards the end, some of them started interacting with me a bit more, but for the most part, it's very hard to gain their trust. They were polite enough, but it was mostly, kind of like a stray dog or cat coming around your neighborhood. You just kind of acknowledge it maybe a little bit, maybe you throw it some food or pet it, but you're not really interacting with it, taking it in. Next slide, please, Doctor. So yeah, again, very difficult to engage with. Now, the 4 main counselors had their trust. The difference was the 2 gentlemen who ran it, they had lived this life. Most of those 2 represented almost a cautionary tale because they had done hard time. One of them was on a scholarship at a Division I football, and he was still living kind of a gangster lifestyle. He got arrested because he decided he was going to go shoot up somebody's house for messing with them at a party. Another gentleman, Calvin, he's been through prison pretty much, he's been to prison a couple times. He has, a history of substance abuse, but he's gotten his life turned around. The other two that have made through, the other two counselors are actually graduates from the program, and they've come back too. Both of them are at UNR currently, getting degrees, but they still come every week, a day if possible, and sort of interact with the kids and say, hey, look, you can make it. So we have two counselors, almost a cash in their tail, like if you throw it away, this is where you're going to end up, and it's not going to be pretty. While the other two represent what you can do to keep after. So those guys, just watching that was phenomenal. And then again, they never really engaged me until near the end of my time with them. Now, the next one couldn't be more different. First Lego Leave, FLL. So real quick, founded in 1989, the idea was to get kids interested in science and technology. Also, it's meant to build character and core values such as teamwork and integrity, confidence, things like that. Next slide, please. Now, the kids had a theme this year, which was, nature's fury, some natural disasters. So they had to design a Lego robot with this little sort of CPU telling them what to do. And what happened is that it puts it, for my portion of the judging, we put it on like a table with obstacles, and then the robot had to run through the obstacles and perform certain tasks. Like, they'd have a little like dog figurine or cat figurine, and like, okay, can your robot, rescue the animal from a hurricane, or can it hit this switch, or can it trigger this, airplane to go to safety, or push this truck or debris out of the way. So it was really phenomenal. The experience was overwhelmingly positive. The kids were great interactions nearly all of them, great parental involvement. Well, not a problem. There's at least the next one. So, one group was easier to engage with than the other. Possible reasons for this, poverty, parental involvement, lack of support, positive friends and teacher influences, high interest in learning. All this comes back to the same thing. The kids, probably from a young age, even I don't know the history of everybody in the Lego program, but even if somebody's, struggling and comes from a bad home, they still have a great support group from the looks of it with, the parents of friends and their friends and teachers and people involved. So that is the difference. Somebody cared. It starts at home, but it continues on to here. These kids got written off, but had some bad choices, bad life, things just happened, bad events happened to them. So that is the primary difference, is that somebody cared and kept working at them. And to be sure, the ones in the children's cabinet were phenomenal people. When you hear their stories, they want to change their life. They're trying to get clean. They're all trying to get their GEDs or high school diplomas. A couple want to join the military. A couple have aspirations of college. So it's just different. You see such enthusiasm, such, just a desire. There's hope, I guess, is the defining characteristic. That's the dichotomy. They have hope in abundance because they just know they're going to be fine, barring some exigent circumstances. They are learning to hope again.